Frankenstein, directed by Guillermo del Toro, released on Netflix last month. I finally got a chance to watch it just a couple of days ago, and I'm going to give you my review. Before I dive in, please make sure to subscribe, like button, hit the bell, and comment down below. What are your opinions on the most recent adaptation of Frankenstein released on Netflix in theaters? Did you see it in theaters, or did you watch it on Netflix? I would love to know all that and more. And are you excited for our next adaptation of Frankenstein, which will be The Bride, coming out in March? So heading into this movie, I heard a lot of positives about it. I got pretty excited, if I'm being completely honest. And it just took so long for me to find the time to watch a 2.5-hour movie because I work a full-time job, a part-time job. I am a full-time college student, so kind of hard to find time to sit down for 2.5 hours and watch this movie. And I finally got a chance to watch it because basically I've been on vacation for the past 2 weeks because of some personal reasons. Also, if you're wondering why this is the background, I am at my mom and dad's house. They are out of town and I'm watching their dogs. So technically my dogs as well, but still, I'm watching them. And so the next couple of videos, I don't know how many, but they're going to be right here in this position. And with that said, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, I want to say it's a disappointment, but there's so much out of this movie that I loved, and there's so much that is just like, that was kind of underwhelming. And the more I think about the movie, I'm like, well, I don't really want to think about it, because I didn't really have the best experience watching this movie, even though there was so much out of the film that I loved. Starting with the things I loved, let's just start off with that 15-minute sequence at the beginning of the movie. That was awesome. I just want to start out with that, because that was crazy good. This Frankenstein coming out, attacking some people, kind of set the tone for the movie. And I kind of wish the movie had a little bit more of that sprinkled throughout, but just know it's probably the best entrance to a movie all year. The cast here is great. We got to start with Jacob Elordi as Frankenstein, and he really doesn't get a shine until the back half of the movie, but when he does shine, he really shines. I think he is really good. Standout for me is Oscar Isaac as Victor Frankenstein. I think Oscar Isaac is a fantastic actor, and I really loved him here, and I do think that he should get probably a Best Actor nomination later on this year when the Oscars come, which we are really close to Oscar season, by the way. But we also got Mia Goth in here, who I love Mia Goth, so she was a nice surprise here. This is just a outstanding, stunning cast all around the board. On a technical level, this movie is shot beautifully. It's directed pretty good. The way that the movie is shot is interesting. There is a lot of really shoddy CGI sequences, but it's going to be granted when the movie's going to be released on Netflix. Like, a couple shots of animals, a couple explosions, kind of looked fake, but they didn't really take me out of the movie that much. I think on a technical standpoint, the movie is shot very well, directed very well by Del Toro, so I can't really complain there, even though there is a little bit of spotty CGI moments. The best thing about this movie to me is when it is a character study of Victor Frankenstein and the creature. That's what I really loved. That's when I really love this movie, is when we are studying these characters. The movie's basically set up as part 1, part 2, part 3. The first part's the prologue, which is a 15-minute sequence at the beginning, which is awesome. And then you have part 1, which is Victor's story, and then you have part 2, which is the creature's story. And that's just what I loved about it, is the first parts of those stories are character studies. Character studies about Victor Frankenstein and why he wants to kind of eradicate death and create his own creature. And kind of going throughout the movie, like how he is the true monster, how wanting to get to this goal has basically burned every bridge around him, has ruined his life, essentially. And that's really interesting. And then you got the other side with the creature, where it's just kind of a character study about him not wanting to be here, but kind of learning how to live and getting friends, and how he's actually the misunderstood monster, you know, the story. And I really think that those two spots where we're about Victor Frankenstein's story and what makes him tick, and then the monster and what makes him tick, are the two most interesting things here. About an hour for the one part, and about an hour for the other part, and like, those are the best parts of the movie. It's when the movie tries to do something big and dramatic where it starts to kind of fall back for me, where, especially when in Victor Frankenstein's story, where we get to parts where he is creating the monster, that's kind of just rushed through a 15, maybe a 10-minute sequence. Like the whole, he's got the monster kind of teaching him to where he doesn't like the monster anymore. That's just kind of rushed through 10 or 15 minutes of this 2.5 hour long movie. And then, like, even the end of the film, where it just tries to get us to this one part and feels like we are forgetting things. I gotta say, for a 2.5 hour long movie, I wish there was another half an hour, 45 minutes kind of tacked on here to kind of give that little extra to the movie, to kind of not make it feel like it's rushed. Because when it's rushed, the big dramatic things that are going to happen in the final act of the film don't really hit that much. So, the whole creation of the creature, I was loving the movie, and then it just kind of dropped off a cliff. After we get the character study of Frankenstein, to get to the dramatic finale, it just kind of dropped off a cliff for me, because it feels like, gotta get there, we gotta get there, we gotta get there, we gotta get there. We're going fast to get to that point, and it really kind of just felt underwhelming for me, because all of these things should be big, dramatic, feel like they're leaving an impact on me, and I'm like, well, I kind of wish we just got the little scenes of Frankenstein's monster and the old man just sitting there talking. Because that's the stuff that really worked in this movie for me. Not the big, ginormous explosions or the hunt between those two characters. That part didn't really work for me because I feel like it kind of just rushed us into it. Along those same lines of me just kind of wanting more in the movie, I feel like the way that the movie resolved just didn't really work for me. I feel like to get from where we were to how the movie resolved, again, in that much time, like bang, 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 real quick, I feel like it should have been a little bit longer. Again, to flesh some things out, because by the time the resolve happens, I'm like, how did we get there? Why is this now the resolve when basically 10 minutes earlier in the story, it was going a completely different direction? And overall, by the end of the movie, I just kind of felt left unsatisfied. Because the ideas that the movie wants to do is dive into the character arcs of Victor Frankenstein. Dive into the character arcs of the creature. And that stuff is amazing. But when it actually focuses on telling the story of Frankenstein and getting a resolve, it just kind of feels like it's trying to speed over all that. Or maybe like it wanted to do too much with 2.5 hour time limit. And so we just kind of rushed through a lot of the things. So like the big stuff here didn't leave an impact to me. And even now, like this is a movie that I watched 2 days ago. And I could have filmed a review yesterday like I was planning on. And I just didn't. Because I didn't want to. This is a movie that I don't really feel like I want to talk about. Which is really weird because I love talking movies. But for a movie like this, the way it left off, I'm just like, oh, okay. I guess I gotta make a review for Frankenstein, where so much of the movie I loved, but by the end of the movie, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of done with this. I'm kind of done with what they did. And it's very rare that a movie has me in a state like that. I don't quite know why exactly this one does, but what I chalked it up to was, it just kind of felt like nothing by the end of the film. Like, okay, yeah, we dived into the characters, but the good big stuff in the movie didn't leave an impact to me whatsoever. So overall, Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro kind of left me a little bit disappointed. Wish I loved this film, but in the end, I'm just like, okay, it was fine. It was okay. I watched it, but it's not really one that I feel like I want to talk about. Before I give you my final score, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, and comment down below what are your opinions on Frankenstein. I have a feeling that a lot of your opinions are going to differentiate from mine. I feel like I have a very niche opinion on this film that is not going to match with a lot of the general audiences. But I'm very curious, did you love Frankenstein or were you a little bit disappointed by it like I was? With that said, Frankenstein is great when it's a character study, has phenomenal performances all across the board, it's shot great, but overall, the film just didn't leave an impact to me where I feel like it so very well tried to leave an impact. It just kind of fell flat for me, and it's a movie that, like, ever since I watched it, I just haven't really thought about because I didn't really want to. It's just kind of a movie for me personally. It's not going to be that way for a lot of you guys, but for me personally, it's just like, okay, alright, that was fine. It's still a good movie. I have a feeling if I visit it in the future, I might like it a lot more. It just felt like a very frustrating movie to me, and it's very frustrating for me to talk about the movie, because it's like one of those feelings like, there's so much that happens in this movie that could be great, and it's just kind of disappointing in my opinion. With that said, Frankenstein, I think I'm fine giving it a B-. If you want to check it out on Netflix, go ahead. It might be worth your time. But if you're someone who doesn't like big character studies, it's not really going to be for you. Alright, thank you guys for clicking on this video. It's my birthday tomorrow, and I'm going on a double feature, so stay tuned for Zootopia 2 reviews and Five Nights at Freddy's 2 reviews. And with that said, subscribe.